All right, welcome to the HuntLeague podcast. I'm super excited. I have an incredible man, inventor, designer of awesome products. I don't know, designer of awesomeness. Some of you guys may have met him before, but this is Armando Martinez from Bow Hitch. Welcome to the HuntLeague podcast, Armando.
Thank you, brother. Happy to be here, and thanks for the kind words. I appreciate them.
Well, hey, one thing that you're doing right now that I want to make sure before anybody would happen to tune off or something like that, I don't want people to miss this. You're doing a massive giveaway through Bow Hitch right now. Please tell us about it because I want every HuntLeague member to participate in this giveaway. Somebody's going to win something incredible. So tell us what you got going.
Dude, I'm grinning from ear to ear because it is cool, and just thinking about it makes me excited because I will personally be guiding the hunter. I'll be one of the couple of guides that you have working for you. It's a 60,000 acre private ranch, and what we're doing is we're giving away a fully guided rifle elk hunt for a bull. We're going to kill a trophy bull. And if you draw and you're from out of state, we already have somebody that wants to pay for your license fee. So the 900 bucks that you're thinking this might cost a little more, might be too expensive, you're getting the whole shebang covered. So fully guided New Mexico rifle elk hunt. And the way to get in is you purchase any one thing from the Bow Hitch. You go to thebowhitch.com, you purchase one thing. It could be $10, it could be $60, it could be whatever you want it to be. Buy a hat, buy some can toppers. These are cool little can toppers that you just put on top of your beverage and make sure it doesn't spill. And I mean, you name it, you get yourself in. Every individual purchase that you make gets you another entry. So it's an amazing ranch. We have tons of animals, kill really good bulls. They're not pressured. We hunt it very lightly, and this was a gift given to me to help support the Bow Hitch. And so
Unbelievable.
I'm ecstatic. I know it's but dude, it's I've been blessed so many ways. So it's really cool to be able to be able to offer this opportunity because I know I couldn't afford to go hunt somewhere like this.
No.
And when I'm taking out the clients that I do, I definitely get reminded that this is a little out of my world. So to be able to offer it to somebody, just like you and me, is really cool.
No, I mean, I just did a trip through with a ministry called Of Mountains of Men. They take young men on these wilderness adventure trips. They have access to about 80,000 acres, but it's broken up. It's not like one, there's
Okay.
12,000 here, 14,000 here, that kind of thing. And I was seeing hundreds of elk every day. And I'm just sitting there going, this is not real life. This isn't elk hunting. So going to a ranch like this, people have no idea. If all you've ever done is public land hunting, you have no idea what a
Dude,
hunt like this is like.
it's a different world. It was difficult for me because I've only done my work on public property, right? So when we get to this ranch, I find these bulls, and it was my first year working for this outfitter. It's a small outfit. It's him and one other guy, and so I was the third wheel. So he says, "Okay, man, I'm gonna put you here. You're gonna be on glass. This is what we're doing. I need you to find the bulls." So I'm like, I can do that." So I set up, I'm glassing, I hit him on the radio, and I'm like, "Dude, I got one. Let's go kill him." And he goes, "No, let's hang out a little bit. Like, let's see what else is here." And dude, I'm like, chomp. And he left a hunter with me. And the guy's like, "Dude, are we gonna kill him or
Why, why,
not?"
why are you not letting me pull the trigger?
Why are we not like we will be done in 1 hour,
Yeah.
dude?
I
And
paid to
and
be on this elk
so
hunt. Why are you not letting me hunt elk?
yeah, so if you win this hunt, just keep that in mind. Like, we're gonna look at bulls and we're gonna play it slow. And we didn't kill one bull in the morning, dude. And we saw bulls all day. We killed the bulls typically between 1 and 3 in the afternoon. And then if we didn't kill them at lunchtime, right after lunch, we'd kill them in the evening, just because there's no pressure. They
Yeah.
don't get moved. Just watch them do what they're supposed to do. They're feeding. They go bed. They get up. They move around. Sometimes we shoot them there if it's the bull we want, if the wind is right, and if not, we just leave them alone and we come back tomorrow or hunt them that night. But bro, it is so cool. So it was a very big learning curve for me, the difference between public and private. You could do some damage on that private
Well, I mean,
property.
just for people to know too, hunting New Mexico, it's a pure lottery system. Like, so anybody that's
Yes.
out of state, they're coming like that's not an easy tag or I mean there are some tags that you can draw easier, but it's all lottery and the allocation for out of state is really small in New Mexico. So
Yeah.
this is really this is more comparable to me what you're doing to like one of those giveaways they do at the Western Hunt Expo. Not a giveaway, but a raffle. Like you're putting in
Yes.
a raffle. So I can buy a can topper. Now, a question going back to the way you're doing this, are you doing it entry per dollar spent or it's entry per order?
Yeah. Per order. Yeah.
So what I need to do is order my bow hitches separate and I need to
Exactly.
order my can topper separate and I need to order my rifle sling separate. So I've got a couple entries in this.
That's what I would do. I would highly recommend that you do that because what happens is we're going to get every order placed and it's going to run probably till the end of April, maybe early May. The reason we're doing that is we want everybody if once the draw results come out, if you know you drew a New Mexico tag, you don't necessarily need to just spend $10 or $50.
Yeah.
Hopefully you want our equipment, but that way you don't do it if you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a bunch of individual can toppers so that you're getting
Yeah,
entries.
yeah. So that's exactly right. So we're gonna run it till probably early May. Let's to be safe, will be early May. So I get all of those orders, I enter them into that rando wheel, and then it's gonna say, order number 1097, and then I find that email and I call I hook up that person, dude. And I'm so excited to be able to do that because if I got that call, I
Oh
would.
my gosh. I can't even imagine getting that call. So is that one other question? Is that 2025 calendar
Yes,
year? That hunt is this year.
yes.
So you could win that hunt. Somebody's going to win this probably announced in May. Somebody's going to win that New Mexico hunt. And when is the rough dates? Because that could also conflict with people's planned schedule. Do you have some flexibility with the dates?
We have flexibility, so the outfitter is awesome. I thought it was going to be a November hunt towards the end of our season, but he said, some people might not be able to come. They might have other things. So he said, I left a few dates in there, so we'll make it work for them. So we're probably going to have from the beginning of October to the end of November. So you're going to have 2 months to get a few days to come out and hunt with us. Give us 3 days. Think we're gonna be all right.
You're going to get the job done.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so just to make sure nobody gets confused, if they go to their local bow shop and pick up a bow hitch, that does not count as an order. So what do they need to
that,
do? They
that
need to go to
doesn't.
bowhitch.com.
100% at the bowhitch.com. I would prefer, like me personally, if the store is willing to carry our product, I would rather you buy it from them. That's just me.
Yeah, showing
I
love to the
understand.
retailers and people that are
Yeah,
supporting you. That's a big deal.
yeah. So I don't know. I would say do that. It'll be too hard, dude. But that's the way the rules are set up.
If they're going to buy it after May, go to the store. If they're buying it before May, buy it on your website because that's how this giveaway. Because dude, I want to win that elk hunt. Like I kind of don't want to release this podcast because I just want to place a couple orders and have less competition because I'm not the lucky draw guy. I'm not the guy that like, oh yeah, it's a 10% odds. I throw it in. Like, look at that, I won again. Like I never win.
You never know, dude. That's like the New Mexico draw. You just never know. You just never know. So I welcome everyone to. You have an opportunity. You have an equal opportunity. The more you buy, the more entries you get.
I love it. Okay, well, Armando, let's do more of a formal introduction, man. Give us a little
Yes.
bit about who you are, some of your history, how you got into hunting. You know what you're passionate about. We know you're from New Mexico, like that kind of came out through this giveaway.
Yeah.
But give us a little bit more information about who you are, and then we're going to dive into a couple different things.
Cool. So Armando Martinez, born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am 43 years old. I'm going to be 44 here next month. I retired from the Albuquerque Fire Department. I did 12 years as an arson investigator. So that was kind of, you'll see both of my plaques up there. One's police and one is fire. So I was cross commissioned as a police officer who worked for the fire department, kind of is the easy way to say it. It was a amazing career, went great. My goal when I went to the academy, the arson investigators came in and gave us a class, and they were in suits and they were all dressed up and they had guns and like, dude, what do these guys do? And they gave us the arson class, and it during that academy that week of our training, I of the arson training. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I want to retire. Like whatever they do, that's what I want to be in
Amen.
charge of. And
Yeah,
dude, I
staying on that
retired as
path.
the captain of the division. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So it was a great career, great department, and that's it, man. So before that, I got in when I was 22 years old, so I was still a pup. Um, I grew up. My mom had a restaurant, so I grew up in the restaurant business. So customer service, just treating people right and you know getting them what they needed. And
Yeah.
if you guys have kids, put them in a service industry. They need to learn how to talk to people when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're mad, and how to have those interactions. So
That's some great
yeah,
advice
I
right there.
that was
I
a
got
huge
4 kids that they're all starting to look for jobs and stuff like that. That's a
yeah,
great. We had my daughter worked at a Chick-fil-A for a while and they do
yeah,
such a good job like training kids like
such a good job.
take care of the customer and their customer training is so good. I was like it translates, that's a big deal.
It's huge, and it really correlated for me with the bow hitch. Just talking to people, because sales is something that I think is hard and something you don't really want to do. So, I've evolved over time in my life with the bow hitch. We're starting year 5 now, but instead of trying to sell something to everyone, which you think you're in business, this is how you're going to make it. I need to sell this to every person. Now I'm talking to people and I show them what we have. I really don't care if you buy it today because I feel that, especially if you're an archer, eventually you're going to be a customer of ours. And hopefully, in the next several years, this is going to be a standard piece of equipment that comes on pretty much
Yeah.
every boat. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to work it to where it comes standard.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
when you
work.
buy from the factory, you're just straight getting it. It's a piece of the
Yeah.
bow.
It's exactly. It just doesn't make sense not to have it. Um,
Yeah.
so I think sooner or later they'll come around, and it's funny because now that we're starting year 5, a lot of people, man, I've been seeing them. They're just popping up everywhere, and everybody loves them, and so I think it's gonna take care of itself. So now I've been able to use my experience as I just want to show you. Like today, I'll show you guys a couple things we have. They're gonna help. They're an option that will help you in the woods, and whether
Absolutely.
you choose to use it or not, really is still fine. Go out, use whatever works for you because there's not a one size fits all for every problem that we have in the outdoors.
Before we actually show some of the products and talk through that, what's your hunting background? Like, where did you cut your
Yeah.
teeth in the woods and that kind of thing?
So I grew up, my dad would go hunting, New Mexico, old school style, was you drive around and drink beer and see something on the side of the road and you shoot it from the road. That's essentially what I grew up doing. So even though I would say I was hunting since I was a child, I really didn't get into archery and getting out and walking and looking and pursuing animals until I was, early 20s. I went on my first archery hunt when I was in high school, but I did one hunt and that kind of died off.
Yeah.
Um, it was my dad's old high country bow that he had from however many years ago that he gave to me that I guarantee didn't fit. I'm shooting fingers,
Yeah.
some aluminum arrows. Dude, I pretty much had no business being out there. And but my uncle, I have an amazing uncle who taught me how to fly fish, how to tie flies, and so he invited me on this hunt. And that's what got my journey with calling elk and with being in the woods and pursuing them with a bow and arrow, which is kind of a game changer. From there it progressed. I just started really hunting as much as I could once I was old enough. Got into the department, you get a little bit of money, like you have a regular job. I bought a bow, I bought a four-wheeler, and I would just go out and start hunting with new people and learning new things. One of the guys that I started hunting with uh, was a guide for a different company. He would hunt in Mexico and they'd travel all over. And so he said, I'm going to start one here in New Mexico. Do you want to cook for me? You want to start with me? So it was just him and I, dude, one client at a time. So I would cook in the morning. I would go hunt with him, and so I was an extra set of eyes. I would help call, do the whole deal. But then at lunch, I would come back home and make sure they had, if we came back to camp, we'd have a nice lunch. And then when they went out in the evenings, I would go scout a new spot. And by the time they got home, I would have us a really good dinner ready. That's how I got into it. And so slowly but surely, he started growing and growing and growing. And it went from, man, I'd rather have you hunting than cooking. And so we'd get a cook, and then I would go out and take my own clients, and it just really steamrolled from there, man. And meeting new people, and like podcasts, and there's just so much more knowledge out there now. It's a good time to be a hunter because there's a lot of learning to be had,
True.
and a lot of teaching to be done.
Yeah, that learning curve is getting expedited. I think some of the barriers of entry that I think used to keep people out, meaning like, well, my dad didn't hunt, so I don't know how to hunt, and like it just seems intimidating. I don't know the laws, I don't know the rules, I don't know anything. Like I feel like there's so many more ways that people can kind of educate themselves. I mean, it's like somebody can go like, I don't know how to change the brakes on my car, but you can watch a YouTube video and like, oh,
Oh yeah,
I just did it. Like
yeah.
hopefully it worked, but you know.
Yeah, YouTube
um,
University will get you just about anywhere you need to go.
it's pretty impressive. We do live in a different age, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Like you started in this, your company's called Bow Hitch. So let's start with the Bow Hitch because you don't just make a product because you're copying something. It's like you saw a problem in the market and you came up with a solution. So talk to me about the problem you saw, what you tried and set out to solve, and maybe even a little bit of the process of coming out with the bow hitch. What is it? What problem did you
Yeah.
solve?
So the problem that we have in the slogan, and I don't know if you could see it behind me, but it's on here. It says, "Because carrying your bow sucks." So that's our slogan. If you've ever hunted with a bow and arrow, you know that this is absolute fact, and we did not make this up. Carrying your bow sucks. So there's several different ways to carry your bow. This is not a new problem that we said, hey, this is a problem. This problem's been around since the cowboys and Indians were running around and they're slinging it over their shoulder. You don't want to carry your bow. So we were fortunate enough to, my partner and I, it's my partner Doug and myself that are partners in the business. And we came up with the solution that is simple, that because of our fire backgrounds, and he's an arson investigator too. So between the police and the fire academy, you just really learn that whatever equipment you're using has to be brainless. That's a good piece of equipment.
Hmm.
The less moving parts you have, the less steps you have to take in order to use that piece of equipment, the better. Like a fire nozzle, you open it and shut it. You
Yeah.
could turn it to the left, you could turn it to the right.
Yep.
Like you don't have to do many steps to think about these things. Think about the military. Think about the last time you used your bow sling or whatever contraption it is that you have to, while you're actively hunting and you see an animal. Now I have to take this thing off of my bow, or I have to remove my bow from my back or from my hip or from wherever you have it.
Yep.
You have to think about all of these steps.
2017, I can tell you right now, 2017 is the last year I carried a sling that had
Yeah.
attachment points that went through like the riser on my bow. And it's because I missed an opportunity on a bull because I was walking with a sling and I was thinking like, oh, this sling is so easy. All I have to do is really I can just unclip the top and let the bottom one dangle. It's not the ideal way, but ideally you'd take it off both and then you're ready to roll. I didn't have that, wasn't in the cards, that didn't work. And I was like, all right, that is the last time I'm in the woods, like where I'm in a huntable situation where I can't. I'm also going to show another video because I don't have a video of that bad encounter with the sling, but I'm going to show another video that's actually of me on the mountain 2 years ago where I'm sitting walking going like carrying my bow sucks, and that's what I'm thinking about in my head. And I filmed a little selfie video and I sent it to you because I'm like, dude, carrying my bow sucks. This is the last time I'm going to do this without one of these dang bow hitches attached. I'm out on the last day of elk season. I've been pounding out miles. I'm probably about 7 miles from the vehicle. And I'll tell you what, I hate carrying my bow. It's the first time I've put it on my back and shoulders because my arms are freaking tired of carrying it for the last 2 days. But
I am excited because when I get home, I'm going to be talking to the owner of Bow Hitch, and I think they've got a killer product because carrying your bow sucks. Onward.
So is it a real problem? Yes, it's a real problem. So, and I love the idea of like, you're right, that if it's something you have to overthink about, if there's multiple steps involved, like it's not practical. It's not going to end up working. It's not going to be the long-term solution that people are looking for. Now, I mean, that's totally different when you're thinking about like, all right, I'm going to pack in 10 miles and I'm cutting across this thing. Maybe you want it on the back of your pack. But when you're in an active hunting situation, maybe you're side hilling and it's nasty and you want the use of your hands, or you want to be able to glass and not have to like set your bow down in rocks and dirt and scrape everything up.
Yeah.
You actually have something. So I would
Yeah.
love it if you can. I don't know if you can hold it up, if you can show it. And some people are going to listen to this on audio and they're going to miss this. So if you watch it on YouTube, you can see it.
This is the bow hitch itself. It is simple. There's no moving parts that makes zero sound. So the bow hitch is two components. It's this, which is the metal part of the bow hitch, and the other part of the bow hitch is this strap. Okay, super simple. This strap attaches to your backpack, and I'll demonstrate it for you. And on the end of this strap is a loop. All we have to do is we slide our bow hitch into this loop, and then your bow is now being carried by your backpack. And when it's time to shoot, all you do, and I'll demonstrate this for you, is slide this out and you're shooting.
And it's in your
No
hand.
moving parts,
Yeah.
no sound. It's freaking. It just works so well. It works so well.
And now you have a
Yeah.
couple sizes.
The way we do our sizing is so here's a bow hitch installed on this Matthews. So we measure from where your quiver attaches to your sight
Yep.
to the last arrow in your quiver. So this one ends here. This is a small. If I had the large, it's going to stick out over here, and we don't need it just because it's a, it's this only weighs 3 ounces. This is 3.05 ounces for the small. The medium is 3.5 ounces, and the large is 4 ounces. So all we're looking to do is get this opening past your last arrow. Once you can do that, you got your strap, you slide it in,
On it. So it's off
and your
it's
bow.
based on the last arrow, not your brace height. I was thinking it might be a brace height measurement. It's last arrow.
Last arrow, because sometimes these quivers they offset and they're way back here, so the
Mm-hmm.
brace height doesn't matter. So if I wanted to take this off and run a tight spot, it'd kick it out a little bit further. So that's really it. So the installation is 2 screws.
Do you have to get longer screws typically when you add that than what came factory?
You
Generally
don't
just
have to
screws
you
work.
don't have to get them because we give them to you. They come with the bow hitch. So when you order the bow hitch, you're gonna get a little bag like this. For now, we're working on some super sweet packaging. Just a heads up. Um, you're gonna get a little bag for now that comes with 2 sets of screws.
Got
One,
it.
as you can see, is a longer set because the screws that come with your quiver are typically these short, tiny screws. It's gonna come with a pack strap that goes to your backpack. And so, the question you asked is for the longer screws. The longer screws we're going to use to go through if you're mounting to a quiver. If we're mounting to the sight and through a quiver, we're going to use the longer screws.
Yep.
The newer bows are set up to where the quivers and the sights are actually mounted, integrated. So we use the shorter screws just to go directly to the riser.
No,
Yep.
I love it. You launched this 5 years ago, came on the market, and offered a real solution to carrying your bow because carrying your bow, as we all know,
Sucks.
sucks.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey in education for me as a business person. Really neat to learn how hard it is in business. Number one, um, I can't imagine if we had a subpar product. Like for people who come out who have something that's like that's okay, like it would be so hard to make it go. So we're fortunate because we have a product that works. Once you see it, it really sells itself. So we have a great community. So that's the Bow Hunter Planet Golden Arrow Award. We got that in 23 for the best new product, and then last year we won their People's Choice Award. So we're still at it and we're growing, and it's really nice to be able to offer a product that will help you. It's like saying, "Hey man, take this and your headache is gonna go away." Like I know it's gonna happen. You put
Yeah.
that on your bow, you don't have to carry it. It's pretty cool.
Okay, two questions. Kind of follow up. I asked the short screw, long screw question, but these are
Yep.
these are other practical things. If you've got let's say I don't want to be carrying my backpack. I'm going in lighter. Maybe I'm wearing a
Yep.
like waist belt or something like that, which I've done in the past. Can you attach it to a bino harness? Is there another option that kind of allows you to still utilize the bow hitch
Yep.
without carrying a pack?
Let me grab one. I have one right here. So your binocular harness. So any 1 inch or less webbing is gonna fit into this. Any 1 inch or less. The
Okay.
Bino harness. This is our Bino harness adapter. As simple as you can get. So here's our strap. This end has a loop. You throw it in through your loop on your Bino harness. That's gonna ride here on your side, right? So
Yep.
your Bino harness comes across. You just slide this in, and then now when you want to put in your bow hitch, you just slide that in, and your bow's riding right off of your Bino harness. So no backpack, no problem. You can use this. So that's one option. The other option we have is, and I don't even know if you've seen this one, but this is called our 2A sling, the 2A bow sling. It's your standard single point AR-15 style sling. However, our end is adapted to where this is a loop. We just take this buckle off. We use this loop. So if you're shooting in the backyard, if you're at a 3D tournament, your bow's gonna sit just right there, just with this single point. And the cool thing about it, and the reason we call it the 2A, is because you slap in this attachment, buckle in, and run your AR with it as well. So this is your standard AR clip. So these are money, dude, especially if I got some, which I know you do, a ton of whitetail hunters, to be able to put this under your Bino harness, or if you're not wearing one, you can run this. But getting up in the saddles nowadays, I can't wait to go east. I've never been anywhere east. I've never been in a tree. I've never hunted whitetail. So for me to go east to show people that they have this to use while they pivot around a tree on a saddle, your bow is forever gonna be on your side. You're not gonna
You don't
have
have to
to
hang it from
reach.
a tree. You don't have to reach anywhere. It's right there. And do you always keep it on your left side?
Always. So what I'm going to show you, let me show you how it works so people get a good idea on how the bow hitch works, and how the install of this kind of the pack straps work. So all of our items that I will be showing you are going to work off of a pack strap. So this one here has a buckle on it. This one we're going to use for the tripod sling and for the rifle slings. The rifle sling is called the Solution. So very similar to our bow hitch strap. Okay, both of these are gonna come with a gated buckle. They're like 300-pound rated gated buckles. All we do is we get this, we get our backpacks, we get on our load lifter. You're gonna have these load lifters coming up and down. We just find some stitching that comes across, slide it in, buckle it, and now your strap is installed. That's it. So when you order the bow hitch, these straps come nice and long because I'm in New Mexico. I'm a New Mexican. I got short little arms. We got some big old goons, so they're fully adjustable for big guys like you.
Yeah.
But you slide this in, you adjust it, and once I'm done, I cut it and I burn the excess
Cut
off
and
because I'm
burn
like,
and you're ready to roll. It's
it's nice and
one and done. Like you got a
yeah,
size for you.
nice and clean. So now that's installed, dude. I mean, that's literally how simple it is.
Okay,
So,
let me ask you this, because you can just look behind me. I've got that same initial
yep,
ascent pack. I got that here. I got a Mystery Ranch. I got an ACAC. I got a QU. I run all sorts of different packs. Do you sell just the strap attachments? Like if I wanted to run, like, hey, I just want to put one of those on all my packs. That way, no matter which
yes.
pack I'm running, I can just throw that on.
Absolutely. We sell those individual because a lot of people want to do that. So when we sell, a lot of times people buy the bow hitch and then they order an extra strap and then they order the Bino harness strap. That way, no matter what situation they're in,
Yep.
they don't have to carry their bow.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, that's because it's like, all right, I want to have something ready. I mean, I can even tuck it in one of my, like on my Bino harness. It's like, even if I don't have it dangling there, I just want to have a strap that, like, hey, if it's go time and like I'm in that specific situation where like I'm dropping my pack and then I want to make this final stock. A lot of times on a final stock, you've got it in your hand, but there are situations where you're navigating a little cliff or you got to climb something and you want those hands free, or you're trying to get glass or trying to get a range, or there's all of those things that happen that I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, so what am how flexible is this? Can I pull it from this to this and just move quickly?
Yes. Stopping the glass is the biggest thing. I shake a lot, so I'm not good with the one-handed operation, but stopping to glass, getting your rangefinder, the whole deal is huge because the last thing you want to do is put your bow down or lean it or
Yeah.
do anything other than the less movement the better. Any hunting situation you're in, you don't want to move. So if I'm gonna stop in glass right now, say, cool, I got a bull, he's coming in, I need to stop in glass. I'm looking through some trees. This is, I just want people to think of how they're gonna put their bow down or what they're gonna do as
Yep.
they open their final harness. This is what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how silent it is. My bow is here. It's safe. I can have an arrow knocked right here if I wanted to. You know, I can move. I can still walk with it like this if I needed to and stop and I still have full function. Say you need to move a branch out of the way. You're being super quiet, super careful. You have two hands that you can use. And now it's go time. This is the great part. Now you're able to use two hands and when it's go time,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
No loud buckle either, because that was the thing with the sling. I'm trying to be
right.
so quiet, but then it's connected to the riser, and you got plastic hitting aluminum, and it's like this. The sling was a mess for me, and it's like after my
Yeah.
one experience there, I was like, that will never happen again. What you just did in 3 seconds is like that's a real solution. That like it's the difference between getting a bull and not getting a bull in that situation. I
1,000%.
mean, that was the difference. Like if I would have had that on, that would have been I would have had a bull versus watching the rump of a bull walk away. And there's nothing I can do.
And it happens all the time. And it's the little movements and it's a lot of times it's people. I don't want to say being lazy because being lazy is the wrong word, but you think subconsciously, I have a sling, why wouldn't I use it? And
Yeah.
hunting and guiding hunters, dude, I'm like, it's go time. Could you please take that sling off? Like, and
Yep.
and they're like, dude, I got to carry my bow. I'm like, well, carry your bow. Like, it's time to hunt, not to carry your bow. A quick story, like when we were thinking of our slogan for the bow hitch, like carrying your bow sucks is amazing. A close second is we're for hunting, not hiking. If you're hiking, you can put your bow wherever you want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you're hunting, this is how you run it. You know.
That's exactly.
So
I mean,
I mean,
that's what I was saying. It's like sometimes you can throw it on the back of your pack, and maybe that's more comfortable if like I'm just hiking in. But that's because you're
yeah,
hiking, you're not hunting. But when you're hunting, that's what you want. Period.
that's it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I can look over here and like I've got two old slings. I mean, I can't even believe I still own this. But this is the old thing, and it
oh
was a
yeah,
clip that had to go around, part of your riser, and it's just a sling. I mean, I have that, and then I have another one. The other one is more of like a thing that goes around your cams, like it kind of
yeah.
protects the string, which I like the idea of like, oh, cool, this protects the cam so you don't get sticks, you don't get grass, you don't get stuff in. And it keeps me from carrying the bow by the string, which wears your serving and wears your string out, which is also an expensive thing long term.
Yeah.
Like you wear your string out, that's a big deal. And I thought that was a good idea until you're in the woods trying to do that. And then all of a sudden you realize that elasticity and stuff, it makes a snap sound and it's big and it's cumbersome. And I'm like, Nope, that wasn't a solution either. So I have gone through the progression of trying to figure out what works. And what is sitting right here on this shelf behind me is a bunch of solutions that don't work. What's in front of me, that's the solution.
That's it, man. It's as simple as that. So you're hiking, people. I keep my hand on the riser. This is the adjustment that I like with my arm angle, about a little bit less than 45. But I just keep my hand on the riser, and when we come up to some debris, I come up and over it. But anytime I stop, I kind of kick this back a little bit, and I'm just cruising through. And you,
You're not
let's
even
stop.
thinking
Let's
about
talk. Let's whatever.
it.
And
Yeah.
your bow, is you never bend over, put it down. It's not going to get limbs in the, dirt in the limbs. It's not in the dirt. And this is it.
This is it. Like
That's your
when you're
shooting.
saying this is it, no, like I'm telling people that are listening, like, no, this is it. This is actually it. This is the solution that you've been
Yeah.
looking for. It's it. All right. So I see the problem. I see the solution. Congratulations on making
Thank
something
you.
simple, because sometimes
Yeah.
it's like the simplest of things is actually the solution that people look for. And we overcomplicate our ideas and we try to make something so many purposes, but it's like what you did there is really simple. It's super versatile. I like the fact too that, like, hey, what if I'm carrying nothing, that you've got that A2 uh sling that you can just throw around and it goes in. So whatever situation you're in, you're just doing a 3D archery hunt, you don't want to carry a pack, maybe you don't even have a bino harness and you're just rolling around, you've got a solution for that. Before we kind of get off this, like, you've got two other products, and you kind of mentioned it because you got the clip in. So you've got a new rifle sling and you've got a tripod. I don't know if you call it a sling or
Yeah.
carrier or something. So walk me through those two things, because those are also things that's like, all right, you identified a problem. Now tell me what your solution is. And I want to see this because I have bounced around. I really like this AKEC pack here. It's got a really simple thing where you can stick the rifle on the side and I can grab a little string clip and like clip and it comes off the pack. I like that. That's been a better solution than some of the slings that I've had, that when you're wearing a backpack and trying to cruise through the mountains, it's constantly sliding off. I think 2 years ago, I bought a little QU plastic adapter that sits on top of their riser, and you can kind of put the sling on that. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of a solution where it's not like falling off. I've tested the one from Stone Glacier. I've tested the one from Kafaru. I've tested the one from Mystery Ranch. I mean, the sling thing, it's a real thing. So, like, you're in a little bit of a busy arena. Anytime, like, there's a lot more clutter, I think, in that arena. So you've got to have a real solution, because there's a lot of products out there that always like kind of fall short just a little bit for me. So like, what do you have? And I want to see, like, win me over on this rifle sling, Armando.
No problem. No problem.
You say that with confidence.
Zero problem. Okay. Speaking of the problem,
Yes.
guess what we call this sling?
It's the solution. I like
This is
it.
the solution sling. So
Okay.
carrying your rifle is a problem. Carrying your muzzleloader is a problem. Carrying your shotgun, carrying your crossbow, it's all a problem. Having your rifle or whatever weapon you're using fall off of your backpack to the side is a
Mhm.
problem. Like, we've all experienced it, and it is what it is, right? Like, there's everybody's trying to solve for it. This is our solution. So literally the same type of strap
Yep.
comes with some extra. This one I have taped up here,
Yep.
just because I was demoing it. So you get your excess, you get it for your length of arm, your weapon. You slide it in just like we did the bow hitch. I buckle it, and now I'm ready to go.
Okay. You put that on your left side. Normally, when I carry my rifle, I'm right side.
Okay,
Like, and
but
not because of left and right hand. So I want to see, why did you do that? So walk me through this.
you're hunting, you're not hiking. Okay, so that's
Okay.
keep that in mind. This is for the hunter. I mean, granted, not every shot is going to be a pop shot, but should you walk up on an animal and you need to come up and take a shot, you need to do it quickly, and you don't need to have it on your right side to swing over to put in your left arm. Okay,
Okay.
just keep that in mind.
I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm waiting for this solution to really, I want to see this.
Okay, so the solution installs just like any other sling, and you might think it's any other sling. It
Okay.
is not. So here's our swivels. They're nice and locky and they twist on and they lock up.
Yep.
So, okay, the solution right here. Your weapon is going to ride upside down, okay? So
Okay.
just
This is different. Like everything you're doing is different because what I'm a right hand carry on a sling, and it's always doing what you're just saying. You're either pulling it out and around and then up, and you already talked about minimizing movement when you're dealing with the bow hitch, like in just glassing. So keep showing me. What do we have? What is this solution you speak of?
this you're going to see it right here. Snaps in,
Okay.
weapon of choice, whatever that is, rides just like this. Rides upside down. Your scope is to the bottom. It's not falling off of your shoulder because it can't.
And you're not
Okay,
wrapping it over your head and neck like some of those things. You know, you're pulling it over. It's not over the shoulder.
so you tell me, hey, okay, I have some mounts over here. I see something that I can shoot. What do I do? Come up and shoot.
Sling on the whole time. There's no unbuckle. Do it again.
That's it.
Do it again.
Okay.
Prove it. Just do it one more time.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
me over and over again that you're not going to make a mistake here. Let's see
You
it.
can't, dude. If you mess this up, take it off. Give it back to me. That's it. If you got a hunter in front of you, our buckle slides. You just pick this up. The barrel now is up and out of the way.
Yep. So if
You're
you're
walking.
following in a line or you're walking with somebody,
If it's thick debris, if it's tall, wet grass, if it's super thick brush, you can angle this to be up, or you can angle it to where the barrel's down in the dirt.
let me have you demo this. Pull it up again. Like
Sure.
pull it where
Okay.
the angle is up. If the angle is up, can you still deploy it in a similar fashion? So there's the angle up.
Okay, angle up, you're going to be walking through something thick or people in front of you, so you're probably not going to be the one taking the shot. You can, but right here when I come up, I'm going to have to push out to get it there. So what happens when I push out, so you'll see this is sitting just like this. If I didn't want to move this, like if I knew I was going to take a shot, I could just slide this
That's
a
where you
hair.
might. Okay.
But we don't have to because I can just use force the way this is configured.
Okay, let me ask you something because you actually have tension. Tension is not a bad thing. Sometimes people will put a sling over to create
Yes,
tension because it locks in. Do you actually find some level of stability gained? Like I know that's not like a comfortable. That's not how you would want to walk or move. But do you actually
right.
gain some level of stability? Because you could almost the way that I just looked at that. Once it's set on your shoulder, it looks like you could almost take your hands off, and you've built like a tripod configuration of some kind.
It's called isometric tension, and they teach it in firing schools and in the police academy and rifle schools. So you do. That's why they wrap their hand around the
Yeah.
sling. You can wrap and pull back to give tension to yourself. That way you have a stronger base.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to see by sliding it, did you actually create a problem and not a solution? But you showed me that no, you can work around that. And
Right.
then if it's longer, that's not going to be a problem because now you just have more slack and more ability to work with.
Say I'm carrying this rifle and I'm guiding a hunter. um, or I'm carrying it for my kid, or I'm carrying it for whoever. For some reason, I'm carrying a rifle that somebody else is going to shoot, or I'm carrying it for myself and I need to put it on my tripod. I set my tripod up, I get my weapon, I unbuckle it, and now I'm hands free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just loose. Yeah, you're ready
It's,
to roll.
it's it's one simple buckle. This falls down and out of the way.
Yeah.
If you need to use this, say you drop your pack and you run after them for a follow up, if you had to use it like a traditional sling, you could. But I mean, nobody
Yeah.
wants to do that, so that's
Yeah.
why we do this. Our stuff is so different. Until you see it, you're like, that sounds ridiculous. Like, why would I add that to my bow? Why would I put that sling on? There's a billion other slings I can use that I already
Sure.
have. Like, yeah, you can, but they like the functionality of these it's just it gives you so much more opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, and I even think like most of the time, if I'm carrying a sling with a rifle, it's not actually hands free. Like I will always have tension, or I'll
Yeah,
always
always.
because it's going to slide. And it's like what you're actually gaining is the ability to regain control with your hands. Cause like sometimes you can prevent a fall if you had access to your hands, because you can get your hands on something, you can grab something. But if you got a sling in hand, or you got some, your rifle in hand, I think you're probably more prone to actually, connecting on that fall instead of even being able to recover before the fall happens, just by gaining
Yeah.
control with your hands. So, all right, talk to me about the tripod thing, and then I want to dive into one more thing before we wrap up. So, what is the
So,
tripod solution?
dude, so the tripod sling, we don't have a cool name for it. It's just called the tripod sling. But so we thought of this for videographers and for the guides out there. The guides, I know one for myself. All of my hunters are going to shoot off a tripod. I have this giant Faisal tripod with a big head on it, and it's rock steady. So my clients shoot well off of it. My kids shoot well off of it. Like it's worth having in the backcountry. A lot of people are carrying those now for their hunters. A lot of
Mhm.
Western hunters, because the shots are a little further. So a tripod is a must. If you're hunting out west, you're carrying one for your glass. So for me at TAC, we were looking at the videographers, and not one of them had anything cool that was made for them. And so my thought was like, dude, all these guys have their tripods. They're just lugging it.
Yep.
Me personally, as a hunter, my tripod is in my backpack.
Yep.
So if I'm gonna stop in glass, I have to stop, get it out of my backpack, or take my backpack off,
Yeah.
put my weapon down, lay my weapon on my backpack, pull my tripod out, set the tripod up, pull the legs, and then I can glass for a minute or two if I just wanted to do a quick glass.
Well, I can't tell you how many times, Armando, that I have carried a 4+ pound tripod in my backpack, only to be in situations where, because of the inconvenience of taking my pack off and having to get it, that I will walk. I mean, I walk 30 miles and never have taken that tripod out of the pack, which that's a lot of weight to carry if you're never going to use it. But the reason why it doesn't get used is not because I wouldn't have wanted to. It's the inconvenience of carrying it in the pack. Like 100%. I know that. So, okay, keep going.
I'm excited to show you this then, because you will understand it. So I'm going to show you the way I carry my tripod for glassing. I set up my tripod for my height, and I'll just show you guys. This is a Tracer tripod. Shout out to them because they came out with a fantastic tripod. But it's your standard tripod, right? Like, I don't care what tripod you're using. This is the one I choose to use. I really enjoy it. They all work exactly the same. They got the legs, they got the heads. So this is going to be a little tall. I'm going to lower it. So for me and my binoculars, they're going to go into this same head here, but I have a mount. So we'll just,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
demonstration's sake, say this is where it's at. So the way ours works is you get your legs set up for the user's height. Okay. Once I know that this tripod is set up for me and my particular height of where I want to be glassing from. So let me show you now the tripod sling. The tripod sling has one section that wraps around the leg that always stays on the leg of the tripod.
Okay.
So this one has its own buckle. It's tied down. It's secure there and is not going to come off.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do is when we want to use this to carry our tripod is it's two different buckles. I'll show you how this buckles in. So now these legs here are secure.
Yep. So your legs are not going to open up. You've clamped the tripod itself together.
Correct. So now all we have to do is this one here has a male. We snap it into the exact same strap that we would the rest of our stuff. And with the weight of the binos, your tripod is sticking out. I know we don't have enough, but
Yeah. Yeah.
your legs are behind you, your binos are in front of you. So wherever you're walking, your tripod's not going to hit anything because it's right behind where your feet are at. But the amazing thing is that when I want to stop and glass, I'm stopping right here and I'm glassing. So I'm not missing those opportunities that we talked about. We come over to Rise. I'd like to glass this for like 2 minutes, but I don't want to stop, drop my backpack, do the whole deal. So what I'll do, I'm going to stop here and I can set up and I can glass with the stability of a tripod. And if I don't see anything and I want to move, I move. And I'm not stopping. I'm not
Yeah.
making any sound. My bino's already out. Okay, so I stop. Okay, I see some cows out there. Unbuckle, unbuckle, and now I can set up shop. I
Okay,
can.
let me ask you this, because I'm thinking like, okay, you carried that on the left side, like you carried your bow, like you carried your rifle. So if I'm just practically looking at this, I'm going, okay, anybody that's a guide or an outfitter, somebody that's not carrying a weapon or that's going with a hunter, obviously this would be a huge thing for them because they can quickly deploy really stable glass, get on something. If you're a hunter and you want to have access to, like, do you ever double? I mean, is this like a double system where, okay, I'm watching. Yep. And you would always carry weapon in the left.
Well, for this one, I carry the weapon on the right just because I like coming up and down. Like you can do it however you want to. If you're gonna shoot a weapon, you like if it's close quarters, let's put it that way, you're not gonna come up quick.
Yeah,
So I don't need it to be on this side. Like if I know I'm glassing and I'm covering a lot of country, you can do it on either side. It really doesn't matter. So literally it's as simple as that. Whatever, dude, in all of our stuff, use it to what's best for you. You might invent a new way to do it that works way better than what I've ever thought of, you know?
sure.
And so just keep that in mind. So when I was deer hunting in New Mexico, I had a rifle tag last year. This is how I'm hunting. I'm hunting with my tripod on one side, with my binos because I'm hunting the desert, and then I have my weapon on my left because all there is sand and cactus. There's nowhere to put your rifle, and I'm not fighting it like this. So I would walk, and I'd stop, and I'd glass my country, and then I'd start walking, and I'd keep going, and this is literally just riding right here. So your backpack is carrying the weight of everything for you. So you can utilize it if you're solo hunting. You can use both by yourself.
I think those are some awesome solutions, man. Armando, way to keep inventing. I'm sure you're already tinkering on the next thing, but I mean, it started with the bow hitch, and 5 years later, you've got a couple other really fun items. Um, before we, there's two things. I said one thing that I want to get to before the end. We have something called our Sweet September League. That's an archery elk league. And I want to officially just welcome the Bow Hitch into that league and say, man, I'm so pumped to be partnered up with you in that league. And what that means for anybody kind of listening, watching, inside the HuntLeague app, people are logging, everything from their scouts. It starts June 1st in September 30th. It's called the Sweet September League, but it's archery elk specific. So it counts all your scouting trips, your training days, your the daily challenges of, invest, train, shoot. Like, did you shoot your bow today? Were you out at the gym today? Everything that you're doing going into the season from June 1st to the end of September, you log it inside the HuntLeague app. It goes in, and at the end of that season, people are sharing their stories, and our judges panel will eventually select one person, and they will be the Sweet September champion. That Sweet September champion is not only going to get a really cool bow hitch, it's going to help them, and hopefully they might already have it on, but what's going to be really cool is it's going to be a custom one. We're going to laser engrave a Sweet September champion with the year that you want it. So that's going to be cool, but you're also going to win stuff from Spot Hog, stuff from Sever, Broadhead, stuff from Hogue Hunting, like a custom knife that's engraved. It's a really cool league. So if you're not in that league, I want to encourage you, download the app, jump in that league. So A, I wanted to make that announcement, but B, this is the last thing I want to get to, Armando. Every year, I mean, this is something that I love. I love seeing when hunters give back, when we do our Outdoorsman of the Year. We love celebrating conservation stories. We love seeing generosity kind of poured out. We want to celebrate that at every. It's not just about, the things that go into the hunt, but we care about the people, and we have an invest box. It's a daily challenge. Like, are you investing in yourself or others? That's an important part of the ethos of like HuntLeague. We want that to be something where we're mentoring others, pouring into others. So that's a thing. But every year for the last couple of years, you've done something where you've kind of labeled it your random acts of kindness. Before we sign off, I want that to be something that people hear about, that encourages people. So share what you do here, and maybe people listening can figure out, like, A, how can I replicate and do this in my life? Or B, is this something that I could potentially partner with you, Armando, and let it be a blessing that goes out beyond just me and my immediate circle? So tell us about this random acts of kindness, and we'll wrap up here.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up because that is near and dear to my heart. 20 years of public service. I just got raised right, right. Treat other people kindly, help when you can. There's always somebody that that's out there that has less than you that you can help. And if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching us, like, you're blessed, man. Like, you're able to spend an extra 20, 30, 40 an hour listening to and doing these things that we want to do. A lot of people don't have this opportunity. Random Acts of Kindness is an event. I don't even know what we'd call it. A campaign, I think, is the easiest word for me to keep in my head. We do this campaign every January. Random Acts of Kindness. It's free to join. It costs you nothing but a kind deed to do for somebody else. It could be your family. It could be a stranger. It could be going out and cleaning the neighbor's weeds, cleaning a public park. It doesn't matter. Like, we don't put hey, it has to be specifically this. If you did something that can positively affect somebody else's life, you can enter yourself in for a random act of kindness. And so what I do is I create a post, end of December, January 1st. And I say, hey, here it is. This is the official January, random acts of kindness. Put your kind deed into the comments section on this post in order to be entered. That's, basically what it is. From that point, I get things donated to me all the time to give away so people could be a part of this. We got Cabela's gift cards. Out of State Hunter gave me a $350 gift card. I got brand new Vortex rangefinder that got donated by a hunter. I got a brand new bow sitting in front of me that got donated by Hit or Miss Archery here in Albuquerque. The last 2 years I gave away access deer hunts in Maui, um, fully guided access deer hunts in Maui the year before. And the way it got started is my brother gave me a spotting scope. It was brand new. Bow Hitch was still brand new. And he said, hey, man, I came across this. I got a good deal. I really want to give it to you. It's a brand new scope. Give it away. Get
Yeah.
likes, get followers, whatever, raffle it, raise some money, whatever you want, but it's yours. And and I held on to it, man. He gave it to me in October, and then end of December, I decided, you know what? And it was 2020. Everybody was pissed off at each other for whatever reason. Like, it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
odd. Everybody's was at ends for what you didn't have to have a reason.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Well,
dude,
well, for whatever reason, because
I
you were
don't like your
trapped in your
brown
house
hat.
for months.
Yeah, why would you have three backpacks behind you? That's
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. It
Yeah.
was it was so everybody was mad for no reason. So I said, you know what? We're going to start the year out right. I just want people to treat each other kindly. And if you do something kind for somebody, then you get entered in to win this spotting scope. And dude, it just grew and grew and
Wow.
grew. And like, the first year was a spotting scope. Then this guy reaches out and says, hey, I want to give you an access deer hunt to give away. Did the same thing last year. This year I got a bow. This year I think we did 26 prizes went out. Hunt
Wow.
Lifty was in it. Like, we have targets. We have Western Fly gave me some of his
Oh
pursuit
yeah, guy.
ponchos.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
guy jumped in with us. Dude, so it's really cool. Speaking of that, I just saw this. If you want to jump in, this is something you can
Yeah.
purchase, but it's just a kindness pass it on hat. And so you can get that, and that'll get you entered in to win our other hunt. But that's just what we do, man. People love it. I love it. These kind deeds have a ripple effect that are going to this day from or the first year we ever had it, and I know that for a fact. And
Wow.
it's so cool. Like Hunt Expo, I was there last year. Was our first year ever there. Biggest show I've ever been to, and I had a gentleman, and our booth was busy, 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 and he stood by for like 15 minutes, and this customer that I was with just kept asking question after question. And so I told the guy, I was like, dude, I'll be right with you. I'm sorry, I'll be right with you. And so he waited and waited, and so finally when the customer I was talking to left, he said, hey man, I just wanted to introduce myself and say that I love what you do. The random acts of kindness is amazing, and we need more of it. And I just wanted to
Wow.
tell you that that's out of all these people here, all these famous people that we see, this is the most impactful thing that happens out of this room. And I was like, dude, I almost started tearing up, and I was like, that is so cool. But people thank us all the time, dude. And and so that's the community that we've built, and that's our products are cool, but that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that the community we have is known as being good people.
That's a good thing. That's one of the reasons, Armando, that I'm excited to partner with you in one of our leagues, because that's what we look for in the partners and people that we work with. It's like, man, we want to, it's not just about like, how do you increase the value of a prize package? It's no, no, no. Like, we want to find like-hearted, like-minded people that we know take care of hunters, that represent hunters well, and that also kind of encourage people down the right path. We want to inspire people to pave the way for others to follow. So I love the idea of it, like the idea of random acts of kindness. And I want you to know now, like, hey, I'm committed, Armando. Like, if we want to do, for one of the once a month deals, like a lifetime league pass subscription in the app, like I would gladly do that. If we want to do on some of the daily stuff, do a 1 year league pass subscription, like sign me up now. I'm in. I'm
Cool.
all in on this. This is something that I want to be a part of with the HuntLeague community. Second thing is, okay, it's the idea of it is awesome, but do you have any like practical stories of things that were shared with you of random acts of kindness that, I mean, are just truly inspiring, that are like, man, from the times that people are sharing these things? Because sometimes it's just simple, like I smiled and I gave somebody a hug, or I did this or that, and those are simple things that really honestly each of us can do every day. And there, I don't say that to diminish that, because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah. That's
smiling
all
and just
people need.
making
Yeah.
eye contact with somebody, acknowledging somebody, can be the difference between life and death for that person. But what are some things that have inspired you, that you, stories that maybe have swung back to you through this random acts of kindness? Like, can you highlight one or two of those, and then
Yeah.
we'll,
I'll tell you one that I just heard the other day, and it was super awesome because I don't remember exactly what podcast it was on, but they were talking about it, and they were talking about random acts of kindness and how we don't know how it affects people and how far one kind deed is going to go.
yeah.
So this guy says, hey, I'm traveling through, I do a lot of traveling, I go to this restaurant. He says, I typically travel through, but I was having car problems, so I had to stay in this town all day while they were working on my car. So I go to the restaurant in the morning, I have my food, I go drop off my car, I pay for these people's meals, I leave. He said, I'm there. I had to spend the entire day in this town. He said, the waitress was really a sweetheart. The food was really good. It was convenient. I just walked over there. He said, so I come back for dinner, and the same girl is there, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. He's like, what are you doing? She said, the person that was supposed to come in called in sick, so I had to cover. But I'm so happy you're here. She said it went on 16 different tickets, got purchased for the next person.
No
So that
way.
16. So that went on and on and on and on and on.
No way.
Yeah.
Somebody got blessed with
16,
a meal and said, you know what, I'm going to pass this act of kindness on, and they bought for the next table.
16 times.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. What a cool
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. So, dude, and then for me to hear it, it's like, dude, it's amazing. And these things
Oh,
happen. Yeah. In many different ways. So if you guys go to I'm on Instagram at the Bow Hitch. You have to put so go to at the Bow Hitch on Instagram. The first story that I have the first pinned post, you're going to see a beautiful sunrise. and look at that and start reading through the comments, and you'll see, you can see for yourself some of the other cool things, get some ideas for next year. But some people put a lot of detail, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
um, I really appreciate that. So if you do it, put why you did it. Put
Yeah.
some
Share the story.
context.
Yeah.
Put some context. Make it a story, not just I held the door open. That's fine, and that'll get you in. But we're kind of looking for more than that. But it's such a cool thing, dude. So I would love to have you next year. I'll put you on the books,
Yeah. Please
and
do. Okay. I'm going to do something right here that's not a random act of kindness. This is my old bow sling. It will never go into the woods with me. I've got all of this crap that's building up in my basement in this man cave. I mean, it is, I can't back this computer up and move this table further because it's just full of other stuff. It's bad, Armando. And the reality is, this is not a random act of kindness, but if you want something that will cause you to miss your next elk or deer, I will send this to you because this has been used by me. I will send this to you because I'm replacing this and it will never go with me on another hunt. And I'm replacing it today with a bow hitch. So if you reach out to me and you say, hey, please send me that sling that will cause me to miss my next animal, I'll do it. I will do it. You'll have to give me your address, but I will do it, and I will send this to you. But Armando, it's time for me to order. I need to order 2 of those bow hitches, and I want to get one for me and one for Tucker, who's going to come and hunt with me this year. So I'm going to go, and in order to do that, I need to go to bowhitch.com. Is that right?
Okay, so this is what you do. You go to thebowhitch.com. If we're going to get these custom engravings on it, no problem. Once you order the bow hitch, there's a section. You're going to need to send me that file, and I'll get that file. I'll burn it onto the bow hitch for you. When you go to checkout, you're going to put in HL for Hunt League 15, and anybody who's going to jump on this, 15% off your entire order.
Oh
So
my
when you want to
gosh, I
jump
wasn't
in,
expecting this.
so
This is excellent.
so so when you want to jump on and get yourself entered in to win that
Yeah.
fully guided New Mexico elk hunt, you're saving 15% at the same time.
How do they do it? What was the code? What do they do? How do they save
It's
15%?
HL.
HL.
HL is going to be your code. HL15. Hunt League 15, and that's going to do 15% off of your total order.
Okay,
So
you'll see
anything
my
you
order
order.
come in today. And the reason why it's going to come in today is because I also want to be entered into this raffle to win that New Mexico elk hunt. I may have to separate those so I get 2 entries, but look for that. That's HL15. I really do appreciate that. I know our guys are going to appreciate that. And the custom laser stuff, like, I'm taking Tucker, he's from Vortex, so I can maybe even put something like, hey, Tucker, don't miss on that bow hitch.
Dude, so the guy who gave me the Elk Hunt to give away, him and his buddy, they just heckle each other all the time. So the first 2 hitches that I did, one of them says Gary sucks, and I gave that to Reese, and then I gave Reese one that says Gary sucks. So both of their bows, yeah, we could get
Okay,
we
because
could put
what
some
might
things.
have to happen is I might have to update the hitch every year for somebody to give them a new message. Like,
Yeah,
hey, carrying your bow
yeah.
sucks, but you suck worse. Like you're just, hey.
We we
Oh,
could we could we it doesn't have to be PG. Let's put it that
yeah, you
way.
can accommodate some nonsense.
Yeah, we could play with some things.
Oh man, I love that. I really love
Yeah.
that, and I might have some fun with that in the days ahead.
Uh,
And I'm really glad that you shared that.
Sounds
Oh.
good to me.
Okay, Armando, thank you so much for jumping on the HuntLeague podcast. I really hope people get entered into that New Mexico elk hunt. The easiest, the only way, go to thebowhitch.com, order yourself a product. Every order gets you an entry. Man, welcome to the Sweet September League. Somebody's going to win their own customs that has the champion. It's going to be there. So somebody's going to win a bow hitch. So get signed up, join that league. Starts June 1st, which seems far away, but I mean, it will be here before we even know it. So again, Armando, man, great having you on. Appreciate everything you're doing, the random acts of kindness. I am all in. We're going to do that together this next year.
Every January, start the year off right.
Let's do it. Well, don't wait till January or December for those random acts of kindness. Let's get going on that stuff today. But thank you for joining the podcast, and good luck as you head out on that hunt this fall. I hope you share the story. You're going to have to share the story. That's what you're going to have to do. Just tell me you'll share the story eventually with the HuntLeague community, like who got that, what you saw, all that stuff. That's going to be really fun for us to follow.
You know what? Let's get back on in December. That'll be we'll be able to tell you about the hunt winner. It might be you, and then we can remind everybody about random acts.
That's perfect. Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, brother. You have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thanks for joining the podcast.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.